Hello everybody and welcome to Assembly, coming to you this week from the Mem Hall. I was scouring all over the school to try and find somewhere on Wednesday evening that was slightly in the shade and in the cool to do this recording. It's the last thing I'm going to do before I go home and sit in the garden this evening, and I really hope that you're enjoying the weather too. It's been really great this week to have had a lot of the fourth form and lower sixth here at school, even if just for a morning, doing some things together, catching up with a few things and seeing each other and seeing their teachers. It's been lovely, it's been very simple, it's been very easy to do, and therefore it is incredibly disappointing that the government is not permitting us to do that for other year groups. We will persist. I do not know what will happen with that, but as I say, we will persist. We've clearly shown it's possible to do it safely, and we so wish that we'd be able to do it for other year groups as well. Well, it's the penultimate week of term, and so we come now to the Debating Society's report. They say that we enjoyed their last Debating Society for this term on Tuesday, when we had a more relaxed discussions over issues such as collective versus individual responsibility, and whether a strong beginning is better than a strong ending. It was a lovely opportunity to say good luck to the Upper Sixth Leavers, who've been an outstanding team this year, and also to say thank you. And Mrs. Lunardi extends that thank you to everyone who's participated in debating this year, pupils and staff, and very much looking forward to seeing that continue to flourish next term. From Mrs. Mallard and the English Department, Litfest. This week, the English Department and the library held a mini literature festival under the apt theme of community and friendship. All pupils across the school and all departments were invited to take part in a number of activities, including a literary-inspired escape room, creative writing tasks, quizzes, and the launch of the Top 100 Summer Reads. To mark this event and celebrate the theme, we also asked staff and pupils, old and new, to contribute to creating a short video celebrating St. Peter's Together, where all read poems inspired by friendship, support, and community. Because, as John Donne himself said, no man or woman is an island. And what we celebrated above all else this year, and this term especially, is the value of support and the strength of the community here at St. Peter's. There is a link on the email for this assembly to that video. Do have a look, it's very well worth watching, and my thanks to Mrs. Mallard, Mrs. Wong, and to everybody who's been involved in that. Right. Isolation Olympics, Week 8. Here we go, this week's report from Miss Mounter. I'm sure you are all agag to hear this week's punny wordplay. So, as always, the disclaimer, Mrs. Mounter writes, you are asked to send pictures of yourself undertaking school activities in your school uniform, albeit in your own homes. We had a few shirty emails from your parents for this unusual request, but the pupils responded with uniform alacrity. For the juniors, Ellie Mercer takes third place. In her photo, we see her engaged in a science lesson, slaving laboriously over a test tube. Kicking it up a notch, quite literally in this case, was Rosie Jones' kickboxing martial arts video. But this week's cherry-picked winner was Charlotte Oglesby, whose high art saw her towering above her peers and easily wins first prize. You think that's bad? You wait till the next one. Only 2 prizes are awarded in the senior category this week. Second place was awarded to Lottie McKelvey for her chemistry lesson. I was going to make a joke about sodium, but then I thought, nah. In a blazer of glory, first place goes to Charlotte Calvert. Her photo shows her wearing incorrect uniform and being turned away from Commem outside the Minster. I'll have to admit it was good to see the monitors weren't skirting around the issue on that occasion. Mr. Whitehouse sent in a picture recalling his 10 years in Dronfield, during which time he has never missed a Saturday evening activity. These house activities always feature a good deal of food, and Mr. Whitehouse calculates that in his last decade he's served well over 800 pizzas. Top that, as well as over 100 kilos of microprotein derived from Fusarium venetatum fungus. In case you're warning, that's a cornerstone of vegetarian cuisine. And far in excess of 22,000 chicken bites. And now you have to admit that's an interesting nugget of information. Well, this week coming up sees our last round of Isolation Olympics, and you are invited to submit a haiku or recreate a book cover using family members and household objects. Finally, whole houses are encouraged to theme their house assemblies and send a Zoom screenshot in. Extra marks, as always, are awarded for staff involvement, and points will be awarded to each house based on the number of entries received. And on a more serious note, the upper sixth were invited to submit reflections to their younger selves, recalling their experiences of entering the school for the first time. Thank you to everybody who took part. There was a huge response, and messages ranged from the practical to the hilarious, and many were genuinely very touching to read. All the messages will be displayed at school in due course. And normally, of course, I finish assembly with a few thoughts of my own, and next week you will certainly have probably far too much to hear from me in videos for final assembly and for commem. So this week I think it's only right that the "and finally" section goes to some of the contributions from the upper sixth. So, a message to my third form self. Flora writes, "To start with, you do not suit a side parting. Please change it for the sake of your third form photo. Secondly, make the most of your time at school. You'll only get to experience it once, and it will fly by much quicker than you think. Don't stress about making friends, just be yourself and you will find people. You are going to find friends for life." Neve writes, "Be kind and immerse yourself with the people around you, remembering that they are going on the same journey." Olivia, "Enjoy the brown blazers and the ugly skirts because they are one of a kind." Siri reminds us, "It's a totally different educational system compared with China, and you need to really focus on your study and have a good link with the teachers to solve problems." Ellen asks us, "Always be genuine, never judge others, and always try and be the best version of yourself." James advises, "Don't waste time doing nothing." Rihanna reflects, "I think I might have enjoyed Dear V if I'd taken part." Tom writes, "Before you know it, you will know it like the back of your hand." Olivia, "Play Sedba at least once. The bus rides are super long, but very funny." AY advises, "Be unapologetically yourself. Don't try to fit in. Don't change yourself for anyone, because everyone is different in one way or another. So why try and be like someone else?" And Alistair surely speaks for everyone when he says this, "Dear third form self, don't make jokes in front of Mr. Snelling." Thank you so much for all the contributions. I've really enjoyed reading them all. Thank you to Miss Mounter, as always, for her report. We've been in lockdown now for what seems like such an incredibly long time that it seems almost strange that we're now just over 1 week away from the summer holiday. Nearly there. So, as ever, stay safe, go well, and crack on.